I'm Tim St. Pierre, number 35 with the Calgary Stampeders, long snapper and fullback. A little history, I started playing ball in high school. Didn't really play when I was younger than that, but I was fortunate enough. Had a great high school coach that taught me the proper work ethic that was needed. Got recruited out to St. Mary's by Blake Nill. Had a great career there. We played together. Yep. And that's when I really got introduced to long snap in my first year. One of our snappers went down, and I had done it a little bit in the past, so that's when I really kind of took on the role and started to build it from there. Been going on 9 years in the CFL, a couple with Edmonton, and then now with Calgary for 6 years. So yeah, long snapping's a skill, and luckily I've had a couple great guys that I've played with. We've competed and we've helped each other out. And it's a process, and you just always keep learning and working on the skills. And we're going to talk to you a little bit today about how to set up and the basics of long snapping.
How many reps should they be doing per day to improve their skill?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's dependent on the skill level and experience. But one thing I want to stress is it is this skill set that you have to develop, almost like a golf swing. So you go out and do hit 1,000 golf balls. By the time you hit 100 or so, yep, you gotta look at the quality of the reps after that, right? So you may be able to focus for 50 good golf swings or 100 or whatever it is, yep, but then if you're doing 300 a day, yep, then that muscle memory is getting affected when you're not swinging well. So similar for snapping. So the young guys are just stress throwing the ball around a lot, especially because having the motion and learning how to release it off your hand, just throwing it around with buddies, that's going to help a lot. So for myself, I used to track it. There's a couple years I tracked it, and I did upwards of 1 year 3,500, another year 5,000, because I tracked it. So in a full CFL season, I tracked it that we did about 3,500 snaps.
Okay.
So in the past, I used to try and hit that mark in the off season. Now I'd say I'm a little less. I try and focus on 50 to 60 solid good reps a day. I may go a little higher, a little lower, depending on how you're feeling. But it's not coming out right that day. You're not feeling it. It's not necessarily something you have to push through. You can reassess what went wrong that day, and go out and do well the next day. So.
Perfect. So, and our stance, that's key. It doesn't matter what position that you play on the football field, it all starts with your stance. Do you want to kind of show us some things to avoid, or do we want to make sure what your stance looks like or what it should be? And then
yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're I still use guides as when I'm snapping. I'll always try and snap on a hash mark, or in the gym you can put some tape down just to realize and know that you're square, right? Now if you're just in the backyard and you're just in the grass, you might be off a little bit, and if you're off a little bit and your hips are torqued a little bit, that's the way the ball's going to go. So I always recommend to young guys, put your feet on a hash mark, some tape, whatever. I go a little bit wider than shoulder width. Okay. One mistake I see a lot of young guys make is they go really, really wide like this, and you don't really have any power from here. So you see them go through, and then for one, you're losing power on the snap, and for two, if you need to get up and block, you gotta do all these crazy movements to get in a good position. So yeah, so we can show without a ball here. So a little bit wider. Want to have some weight on your heels. You don't want to be too far forward, because that's where your momentum is, right? And then as you're trying to go back, you want to go straight back. You don't want to be popping up, right? So you want your weight settled back on your hips and your heels a little bit. From there, I go pretty low. Got decent flexibility. And from there, you just want to play with the ball. You want to be light on it. Some young guys will put a lot of weight on the ball like this, and then it's just really tough to get the motion going. So you want to just be able to sit here, be comfortable, be able to sit here and have a drink, and not feel uncomfortable. And then from there, you're just going to grab the ball, and everything's smooth from there. So.
Okay, cool. So are your feet, are you on the balls of your feet, on the sides of your,
so like I said, I put a bit of weight in my heels.
Okay.
I find that brings my hips down.
Okay.
So like I said, if you look at this thing, when you're snapping and you're going through, you want as much going backwards as possible and not up. So I find if I'm on the balls of my feet, I tend to rise my back up a little bit too much, and that loses power. So if you're back, you're settled on your heels, and you're able to drive everything backwards towards the punter. That's ideal. So.